My wife said Blake needs us right now. Be mature about it when she invited her ex to Christmas dinner. So I invited his secret girlfriend too. I am Connor, 29, and I still cannot believe this is my life right now. My wife Riley, 27, and I have been married 3 years, together for 5 total. I work in it for a mid-sized company. She is a marketing coordinator. We have always done Christmas at my parents' house. It is tradition, you know. My mom goes all out. My dad makes his famous prime rib. My sister Madison brings her camera and documents everything for the family albums. 3 weeks ago, Riley drops this bomb on me while I am fixing our garbage disposal. Oh, by the way, Blake is joining us for Christmas dinner. Just like that, no discussion. No asking if I am cool with it. I am elbow deep in sink water, and she is talking about her college ex like it is no big deal. Wait. What? Blake? Your ex Blake? He's going through a really rough time right now, she says, not even looking up from her phone. He doesn't have family here, and I already cleared it with your mom. We need to be mature about this. Connor. Be mature about it. Those exact words. Remember that. For context, Blake has been this background character in our relationship for years. Riley occasionally mentions him. Oh, Blake posted about his new job. Or Blake's traveling to Europe again. Always casual. Always just friends. I never really thought much about it because Riley's always been social, keeps in touch with people from college. But something about this felt wrong. Maybe it was how she told me instead of asking me. Maybe it was how she had already talked to my mom before mentioning it to me. Or maybe it was that little smile she got when she said his name. I tried to be cool about it. Okay, but why Christmas? That is kind of a family thing. Because he is important to me and I want to help him. Don't be insecure. Insecure. There is that word that shuts down every conversation, so I dropped it. But that night, lying in bed, I couldn't shake this feeling. Riley was texting someone, giggling at her phone. When I asked who, she said just work stuff and put the phone face down. Red flag city, right? The next few days, she was different, happier, more affectionate with me, which sounds good but felt performative, like she was overcompensating. She kept bringing up Christmas dinner, asking if I was excited, saying how nice it would be to have Blake there. Friday night, she went to bed early, said she had a headache. Her phone was charging on the kitchen counter and Look, I know it is wrong. I know you are not supposed to go through your partner's phone, but my gut was screaming at me. I opened her messages, months of conversations with Blake. Months. I miss talking to you like this. I keep thinking about what could have been. I know you are married, but I cannot help how I feel. And Riley responding with stuff like I think about you too and things are so complicated right now. The most recent message from Blake, cannot wait to see you at Christmas. It will be like old times. Riley's response, I know. I cannot wait either. Connor will just have to deal with it. I screenshot everything. Took photos with my phone of her phone. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped the damn thing. I couldn't sleep. Kept reading those messages over and over. My wife has been having an emotional affair for months, and now she is bringing this guy to my family's Christmas dinner. She is planning to continue it right in front of me, in front of my parents. But here is where it gets interesting. I did some digging on Blake's social media. The dude's engaged. Ring pics from 6 months ago. Her name is Sophia, looks like a sweetheart. Blake told her he is spending Christmas at a work colleague's party because he doesn't want to burden her with his family drama. So Blake is lying to his fiancée about where he is going, and Riley doesn't know he is engaged. Saturday morning, I am making coffee. And Riley comes downstairs all chipper. I was thinking we should bring something nice for Blake. Maybe that bourbon he used to like? Sure, I said. Actually, I was thinking we should invite Sophia too. Riley froze. Who is Sophia? Blake's fiancée seems only fair if we are including him in our family Christmas. We should include his family too, right? I already reached out to her on Instagram. The color drained from Riley's face. You did what? I thought we should all be mature about it. But that is not even the crazy part. Wait until you hear what happened when I actually talked to Sophia. Update 1. Sorry for the delay, updating. Had to work a double shift yesterday, and my phone died. Thanks to everyone who commented, honestly didn't expect this to blow up like it did, so, yeah. I messaged Sophia on Instagram. Wasn't sure how to approach it without sounding like a complete psycho. So I kept it simple. Hi Sophia. I am Connor. My wife Riley is friends with Blake from college. We are having a Christmas dinner, and Blake mentioned he might feel lonely this year. So we would love to extend an invitation to you too if you are interested. It is this Sunday at 2 p.m. Let me know. She responded within an hour. Hi Connor. That is so sweet of you to reach out. I am a bit confused though. Blake told me he was going to a work colleague's Christmas party on Sunday. Are you guys coworkers? I thought he didn't really have close friends from work. I screenshot that message too. At this point, I am building a whole evidence folder. I wrote back, no, we are not coworkers. Blake and my wife, Riley, dated in college. She invited him to our family Christmas dinner. I thought you should know since you are his fiancée. Radio silence for like 4 hours, then my phone started buzzing. I had no idea. Blake had plans with an ex-girlfriend. He specifically told me it was a work thing, and that I wouldn't know anyone there. This is really concerning. Can we talk on the phone? We talked for an hour. Sophia is cool as hell. Turns out she is a nurse, super direct, and no nonsense. She told me Blake has been weird lately, secretive about his phone, working late more often, talking about supporting an old friend through a rough patch. I asked who the friend was and he said it was just some guy from work. She said, now I find out it is his ex-girlfriend, and he is going to family dinner. What the hell? I told her about the emotional affair messages without getting too specific. Just that there had been inappropriate contact and I was concerned about both our relationships. You know what? She said. I am coming to this dinner. If Blake thinks he can lie to me and sneak around with his ex, he is about to learn otherwise. We coordinated the plan. I would text her my parents' address. She would show up around 3 p.m. after Blake had already arrived and gotten comfortable. I would answer the door and introduce her as Blake's fiancée. What about your wife? Sophia asked. What about her? She wanted Blake there. She gets Blake there. Just with some additional context she wasn't expecting. Sunday morning, Riley was in the best mood I had seen her in months. She spent an hour getting ready. Did her hair all fancy. Wore this dress she only brings out for special occasions. She kept checking her phone and smiling. You excited about today? I asked while she was putting on makeup. Of course. It will be nice to catch up with Blake. I hope your family likes him. Oh, they will love him. And I am sure they will love Sophia too. She stopped applying mascara. Sophia isn't coming. Connor, I told you. Blake is going through a hard time. He doesn't need the pressure of bringing his girlfriend. Actually, I confirmed with her yesterday. She is excited to meet everyone. Riley turned around. Mascara wand still in her hand. You called his girlfriend, fiancée? And yeah, we had a nice chat. Really looking forward to meeting her in person. Riley went pale. Connor, you cannot just invite random people to your parents' house. She is not random. She is Blake's fiancée. The woman he is going to marry. Seems like she should be part of these important family moments. Don't you think? Blake never mentioned a fiancée. Weird. Wonder why he had leave that out. Riley was quiet the whole drive to my parents' house. I could see her texting frantically, probably warning Blake. Part of me hoped she had called the whole thing off. But nope, we pulled into my parents' driveway and she got out of the car with this fake smile plastered on. My mom hugged her like always. Riley, you look beautiful. I cannot wait to meet your friend Blake. Thanks, Mrs. Hendricks. He should be here soon, and his fiancée too, right? My mom said. Connor mentioned she might be joining us. Riley's eye twitched. Right, Sophia. Blake showed up at 2:30 with a bottle of wine and that confident smile I remembered from Riley's old college photos. Tall. Good-looking. The kind of guy who probably never heard the word no growing up. He hugged Riley a little too long, a little too tight. My dad shook his hand. My mom offered him a drink. So Blake, my mom said. Connor mentioned your fiancée might be joining us. When should we expect her? Blake's smile faltered for just a second. Oh, Sophia couldn't make it. Last-minute work thing, that is too bad, my dad said. Connor seemed pretty confident she was coming. Blake looked at me. I shrugged. Traffic's probably just bad. We sat around the living room making small talk. Blake was charming. I will give him that. Had my parents laughing, complimented my mom's decorations. Asked my dad about his golf game. Riley was glowing, sitting a little too close to Blake on the couch, touching his arm when she laughed. At 3:15, the doorbell rang. I will get it, I said, jumping up. I opened the door and there was Sophia. She looked exactly like her photos, petite, blonde, wearing a nice green dress and holding a bouquet of flowers. Her jaw was set in determination. You must be Sophia, I said loudly enough for everyone in the living room to hear. We are so glad you could make it. Thank you for inviting me, she said, equally loud. I wouldn't miss meeting Blake's friends. I turned toward the living room. Everyone. Blake's fiancée Sophia is here. The silence that followed was beautiful. Blake shot up from the couch so fast he knocked over his wine glass. Riley's mouth fell open. My mom started toward us with a confused smile, and my dad just sat there trying to process what was happening. But the best part, my sister Madison was in the corner with her camera. And she got everything. Update 2. Wi-Fi was out all weekend at my apartment. Finally got it fixed. Holy shit, you guys, my DMs are insane. Anyway, here is what happened next. So Sophia walks into the living room with me, flowers in hand, biggest smile you have ever seen, the kind of smile that says I am about to ruin someone's whole day. Blake, she called out sweetly. Surprise. Blake looked like he had seen a ghost. He is standing there in the middle of my parents' living room, wine dripping off the coffee table, just frozen. Riley was still on the couch, but her face had gone completely white. My mom, bless her heart, tried to salvage the situation. How wonderful. Blake, you didn't tell us Sophia was able to make it after all. There must be some confusion. Blake stammered. Sophia walked right up to him and kissed his cheek. No confusion, honey. Connor invited me yesterday. Said you were having dinner with your college friends. Though I was a little surprised when he mentioned Riley as your ex-girlfriend. You told me you were going to a work colleague's party. The temperature in the room dropped about 20 degrees. Work colleague. Riley stood up slowly. Blake, you told me you don't have any close friends from work. Blake's eyes were darting between Riley and Sophia like a trapped animal. It is complicated. I didn't want to. Didn't want to, what? Sophia's voice was still sweet, but there was steel underneath. Didn't want to tell your fiancée that you were having an intimate family dinner with your ex-girlfriend? Or didn't want to tell your ex-girlfriend that you are engaged? My dad cleared his throat. Maybe we should all sit down and discuss this calmly. Oh, I think we are past calm, Sophia said. She turned to Riley. You must be Riley. Blake's told me absolutely nothing about you. Riley found her voice. He didn't tell you about me? Nope. In fact, when I asked Blake about his college relationships last month, he said he never had anything serious. Said he was too focused on his studies to date much. I watched Riley's face as that landed. Here she had been thinking she was this important person in Blake's life. This great lost love he couldn't forget. Turns out she is so insignificant, he pretends she never existed. Blake finally tried to take control. Sophia, I can explain everything. This isn't what it looks like. Really. Because it looks like you have been lying to me for months about where you go and who you talk to. My mom was trying to play hostess. Why don't we all sit down? I will get Sophia a drink, and we can sort this out. That is very kind. Mrs. Hendricks, Sophia said. I would love to hear all about Blake's college days from someone who was actually there. She sat down right next to Riley on the couch. Riley looked like she wanted to disappear into the cushions. So Riley, Sophia continued, how long have you and Blake been back in touch? Riley glanced at Blake, then at me. We have always kept in touch. Just as friends. Friends, Sophia repeated. That is interesting. Blake told me he didn't really keep in touch with anyone from college. Said he preferred to focus on the future instead of living in the past. Another hit. I could see Riley processing this. Blake had been telling her how much their connection meant to him, how he couldn't stop thinking about their past, while simultaneously telling his fiancée that the past didn't matter. "Blake," I said, "didn't you tell Riley that you missed what you two had together?" Blake shot me a look that could have killed. "Connor, I don't think this is because that is what she told me," I continued. "That you had been talking about old times and how much you missed each other." Sophia turned to stare at Blake. "You said what?" Riley was shaking her head. "Connor, stop. You are taking things out of context." "Am I? Should I show everyone the screenshots?" The blood drained from Riley's face. "Screenshots?" I pulled out my phone. "From your text conversations. The ones where Blake says he cannot help how he feels about you, and you say you think about him too." "You went through my phone?" Riley's voice cracked. "You left it charging in the kitchen Friday night." Sophia stood up. "Show me." I handed her my phone with the screenshots. She scrolled through them, her expression getting darker with each message. "I miss talking to you like this," she read aloud. "I keep thinking about what could have been. Things are so complicated right now." She looked up at Blake. "You sent these while we were planning our wedding." Blake was backing toward the door. "Sophia, those messages don't mean anything. It was just nostalgia." Just what? Just you lying to me every single day while having an emotional affair with your ex-girlfriend." "It wasn't an affair," Riley protested. "We are just friends. We never did anything physical." Sophia laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "Oh, honey, physical isn't the only way to cheat. You think I care if you kissed him? I care that he has been telling you he misses you while telling me you don't exist." My sister Madison was still in the corner with her camera, capturing everything. Later she told me she had never seen anything like it. Watching two people realize simultaneously that they would both been lied to and manipulated. "Blake," my dad said quietly, "I think it might be best if you left." "Mr. Hendricks, I can explain." "No," Sophia said firmly. "We are leaving, both of us. We have a lot to discuss." She turned to Riley. "And honey, next time you want to rekindle something with an ex, maybe make sure he is actually single." Blake tried to grab Sophia's arm as she headed for the door. "Sophia, please, let me explain. The engagement, our wedding plans, none of that has to change." She spun around. "Our engagement, Blake, we are done. I am not marrying someone who lies to me about other women. But the wedding is in 4 months. The deposits, the venue, should have thought about that before you decided to play house with your college girlfriend." And then she was gone. Blake stood there for a second, looking between the door and Riley, then practically ran after Sophia. The house was dead silent, except for the sound of Blake's car starting in the driveway. Riley turned to me, tears streaming down her face. "Connor, I don't," I said. "Just don't. But then my mom did something I will never forget." She walked over to Riley and said, very gently, "Sweetheart, I think you should call someone to pick you up. Connor shouldn't have to drive you home right now." That is when Riley realized she wasn't just losing her side piece. She was losing my family too. And judging by the way she started crying harder, I think that is when it really hit her what she had thrown away. But I am getting ahead of myself. Because what happened after Blake and Sophia left was when things got really interesting. Final update. Car's been in the shop for 3 days. Finally got it back. Thanks for all the support. Honestly didn't expect this story to hit so many people. So after Blake and Sophia left, Riley called her sister to pick her up. She tried to talk to me while we waited, kept saying she was sorry, that it didn't mean anything, that she never intended for it to go this far. I just sat there eating my mom's prime rib, like nothing had happened. My dad pulled me aside while Riley was in the bathroom. "Son, I don't know what your plans are, but whatever you decide, your mother and I support you." "Thanks, Dad. That took guts. What you did, and honestly, most interesting Christmas dinner we have ever had." Madison showed me the video she had taken on her camera. The whole confrontation, Blake's face when Sophia walked in, Riley realizing she had been played just as much as Sophia had. My sister's got an eye for drama. I will give her that. Riley's sister picked her up around 6. Riley tried one more time to get me to talk, but I was done. "We will discuss this later," was all I said. I stayed at my parents' that night. Didn't want to go back to the apartment and deal with Riley's inevitable meltdown. Monday morning, I went home to grab some work clothes and found 17 missed calls and about 30 text messages. The text started with apologies and explanations, then moved to anger. You humiliated me in front of your family. Then to bargaining, we can work through this. Couples therapy, whatever you want. And finally to panic. Please just call me back. I love you. It was a mistake. I packed a bag and left a note, staying at my buddy Jake's for a while. Talked to a lawyer. That was 2 months ago. The divorce paperwork was filed last week. My lawyer says it will be straightforward since we don't have kids and I have got evidence of the emotional affair. Riley tried to fight it at first, claimed I had invaded her privacy and manipulated the situation. But her own messages kind of speak for themselves. The screenshots helped with asset division too. Turns out when your wife's having an affair and you can prove it, judges aren't super sympathetic to her claims about wanting half of everything. Blake and Sophia. From what I heard through mutual friends, she kept the ring but not the man. Smart woman. Last I checked, Blake's back on dating apps trying to explain why his engagement ended so suddenly. Riley moved in with her sister. She sent me an email last month. Some long thing about how she realizes now that what she did was wrong. How she never meant to hurt me. How she hopes someday I can forgive her. I didn't respond. Not because I am angry anymore. I was furious for about a week. Then it just faded. Now I mostly feel relieved. Like I dodged a bullet I didn't even know was coming. My mom still asks about Riley sometimes. Not because she misses her, but because she feels bad about how everything went down. She seemed like such a nice girl, she says. I never would have guessed. Yeah, I tell her. Neither would I. I am doing good now. Better than good, actually. Got a promotion at work last month. Been hanging out with friends more. Even started dating again. Nothing serious yet, but I am not in a rush. Jake keeps saying I should write a book about this whole thing. Dude, you turned Christmas dinner into a tactical operation. That is some next level shit. Maybe I will. How to Win Christmas. A Guide to Strategic Holiday Revenge. For now though, I am just looking forward to this Christmas. My parents already asked if I want to bring anyone to dinner this year. Just make sure you know if they are engaged first, my dad said. Thanks. Dad, very helpful. Anyway, that is my story. Trust your gut, keep screenshots, and never underestimate the power of a well-timed doorbell ring. Edit. Stop asking if I am going to get back together with Riley. That ship has sailed, sunk, and been eaten by sharks. Edit 2. Yes. My sister still has the video. No. She is not posting it on TikTok. Family drama stays in the family. Edit 3. To everyone asking about Sophia, we got coffee once after the divorce was filed. She is doing great, back to dating, and sends me funny memes sometimes. Before you ask, no, we are not going there. We bonded over being lied to, not over each other.